Hey folks, welcome to episode 37 of the Mile 20 podcast where epic shit happens. I'm Laura and I'm here with my bestie Lori. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, and for those joining us on YouTube, you will see that Lori is in Cranberry Lake again, and I am back in the Philly area. So how are things in Cranberry Lake, Laura?
They've been beautiful, but it's always so sad to close the cabin, not close because we can still be up here in the winter, but like bring all the furniture in from outside and pull the boat out. So I sat at sunset today out on the dock, even though it was kind of cloudy, and I just took a deep breath and said goodbye to the season because the next time we come up, the dock won't be in the water.
Yeah, it's a different vibe between being there in the summertime and being there in the wintertime. And but
Yeah.
I like both. I so we have to do that again. I haven't laughed that hard when we were up there in January, February with Mary Beth and
Yeah.
Julie, and we did snow angels and hiking and snowshoes. That was just so much fun. I so enjoyed that.
Yeah. I love it up
And
here.
just having a perpetual fire going the entire weekend. I absolutely loved that.
And red wine. And the red wine.
And a
Flow.
lot of yes, and a lot of red wine. So yeah, yeah. So what have you been up to the past couple of days? You just because I know you took off to Cranberry a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah. No, nothing really overly fun to be real. Like
Yeah,
just really closing up the cabin and doing some work and then trying to sit outside and quiet the mind and
yeah,
connect with nature.
yeah, yeah, yeah. These are the sexy things that we have to do in life, close up cabins and
Yeah, like I try and balance, do the balance between, like taking my tea and my breakfast outside,
yeah,
some deep breaths, and then getting to work and doing
yeah,
some But
yeah,
what
yeah.
about you? What have you been up to? You had an exciting weekend.
We did. My sister had a monumental birthday, and so we went and surprised her with a weekend. We rented a very, very large house up in the Poconos, and our entire family went and joined us. So we had, nieces and their significant others, and my daughter was able to go. My son-in-law unfortunately had a wedding he had to go to, but yeah, so and my sister's best friend from college and her daughter came, which was that was just so lovely. So we just had an absolutely wonderful weekend. We did a big dinner on Saturday, and then yesterday we hit a fall festival at Camelback Mountain and hit a really cool brewery that I think you would have liked. I took a really cool picture of a beer can that I'm going to send you, by the way. And yeah, so it just a lot of planning. We had to bring the food up there, and my mom who's going to be 81. She was rocking it, man. She was helping me, in the kitchen, and we kicked everybody out, and kind of took care of business. So. Yeah, it was just a really, really nice weekend. And the most important thing is that my sister had a wonderful time. So yeah, so that's I just got back like very, very early this morning because I had to work today and then kind of just jumped right into it. So that's always gotta keep the plate full, Laura.
Yeah, 50 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag.
Oh, dude, that bag's kind of seeping. It's like got a hole in it a little bit. Like I know I just shared with you guys that I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night too. Just, the brain, I couldn't shut it off. And so yeah. So after this podcast, I will be going to sleep, my friend.
Good, as you should. And happy birthday, Megan, if you're listening.
Aw. Yeah, so today we are going to interview our hubbies. And
Yay!
yay! And just get a little bit of perspective of what it's like to be married to Cray Cray. And just to give a perspective on just how supportive our spouses have been through our journey. And we wanted to go and share their perspective with you. So we hope you enjoy it. So here we are. This could be a scary episode. We are We were with our spouses. I finally got Jim, Lori in the hot box, and he really made it a hot box.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I did.
Has the temperature risen a few degrees with some extra gas in there?
I made pork tenderloin tonight. It was a bad decision. We are here. We are here with our spouses, and so Jim, before I locked him in this closet with me. He was like, "What the heck are we talking about?" And really, what we want to do is get both of your perspectives because you've been both so incredibly supportive of both of us. And Dave, you are also a marathoner. We want to go and get your perspectives on what it's like to be supportive and to see the crazy. And, we tell the stories from our perspective, but it's always kind of interesting to go and hear the other side of the story. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And if it's a wonk, then we'll just delete the episode and we'll call it a night.
What is a wonk?
It's a wonk, like a wonk, wonk, wonk,
Oh,
wonk.
okay. Wonk.
Okay.
So you think, Laura, we should ask our opposite husbands? Like you
Yes.
asked Dave questions and I asked Jim questions. Is that how
Yes.
the format's going to run this evening?
Yes, I think that is an excellent
I
format.
just got scared.
His hands are sweating.
I'm just glad I'm not in the hot box.
Yeah, I'm sweating. I have an excuse.
All right, Laura, go. You go at it first.
All right, Jim Lee, question. When Laura came to you for the first time and said, I'm going to train for a marathon, because of Ned, do Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, like, what was your first thought, reaction to that declaration?
My first reaction was, when did you start liking to run? We spent all that time in the Army. And
Yeah,
I
hated
didn't
running.
think you liked running at all. But I also thought that it was pretty cool that there was something to honor Ned with. I thought you found a way to remember him in your own, like on your own, and to it. I think you got a chance to really reflect on all the times you had with him, that we had with him, and I thought that was really cool. And I don't even know if they do that anymore. I'm not close enough to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society stuff or Team of Training.
They actually even changed their name now too. Yeah, they're not even Leukemia and Lymphoma Society anymore.
Yeah.
They're not? What is their name now?
Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Because our niece
Blood
cancer.
Something.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up because
anyway.
our niece Courtney actually works for them, and they recently changed their name because they don't want to associate themselves just with leukemia and lymphoma because they support all cancers.
Yeah, so it was cool in the fact that you got a chance to do that for him and for you.
Yeah,
I know that it became something that was cathartic. It was something that, and the fact that they taught you how to run at that distance, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I love that answer. I love that. All right, so Dave,
Got one right.
He got one right. Yay, honey. And they did not see these questions beforehand. So don't peek at my.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what the sheet is. Okay, yeah. All right, so Dave, how do you describe Lori's marathon adventures to other people who don't know like this running world?
Well, first of all, people that don't know the run world think that any race is a marathon. So if you say, yeah, my wife has run 60 something marathons, in their mind, they're thinking 5Ks or 10Ks. But yeah, I describe the adventures that you guys have done and I have a lot of pride in what you guys have accomplished. It's pretty remarkable. And so I describe her as a badass and somebody that's, is gone above even the 50 states. And I thought you were going to ask me the same question that Lori did. And
you can answer it too.
Well, I think, Lori, I may be wrong, but I think you did the Goofy as your very first marathon. And I thought that was really goofy because running a marathon is pretty badass and hard, but doing that with a half marathon the day before is really crazy. So, but yeah, I always describe you guys as extremely badass and adventuresome, and I admire the long-term goal that you guys set for yourselves, and it's pretty awesome.
Thank you, babe. That's all.
Badass.
I appreciate that. So, Jim Lee, what's the most unexpected life skill you've developed from being married to a 50-state runner?
I never had to track somebody or guess. It's actually like I felt like I developed stalking skills along the way, trying to find people on the route. It's a little scary, but it's very handy, especially when you have a 12-year-old that wants to see mom on the course and stuff like that. That made it a lot of fun. But yeah, I was hunting my prey.
Yikes.
Hey, you asked.
Like more like where's Waldo, not praying.
What
Oh
might I
my
do with
gosh.
myself now?
Like put a whole other spin on this. All right, so Dave, you have been at a lot of our races over the years, and you have been the honorary beer bitch in many of these races. So tell us about what the pre-race ritual is to actually be bestowed that honor of being the beer bitch. Like what goes into that, and what's the planning? I mean, Jim has talked about the tracking thing. There's got to be some kind of overlap element there.
I mean, I remember many of them the night before. In some instances, we would place the drinks at mile 20. The one that really stands out is Montana. I feel like as we were setting the drinks in the wilderness, we were hearing noises and whatnot, and it was pitch black. That was a fun night. I always thought it was kind of funny, and sometimes there were some instances where there's law enforcement around and near, and you have to accommodate for that. I think what I learned after many of these is they don't give a shit, and they actually thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, I think you guys established a little ritual, and my little part was being compliant and trying to figure out where and how and when. And, mile 20 has probably a 1.5 mile leniency on either side of that. So, trying to get as close to that as possible. I'm not as calculated as Jim, and I've never thought of myself as a stalker. So
You have more skills than you thought.
yeah, it's been it is a little bit of an art because you guys we try to see you more than just at the beer station or the booze station, and oftentimes we're trying to see you 4 or 5 different times on a race course. So a little bit of art and science to it for sure.
The one that I absolutely remember, and it brought me such joy, was when we ran Boston, because
Yeah.
it wasn't just Lorri and I running. Our friend Tina was running with us. She had someone else running with her, and you guys had beers waiting for us. And I don't know, like the fact that our whole families, like both families were there, all of your kids were there, our daughter was there. It just was like this big, I don't know, it was like a big family hug every time we saw you guys along that course. And for some reason, that one just really stands out because I just remember being so happy to see you guys.
Yeah, if we were the highlights of the Boston Marathon, I'll take that. That's
I believe that mile 20 is almost at the top of Heartbreak Hill. Were they not like almost right at the top of Heartbreak Hill? And so it was like, like this is it. The hard part's behind us. It's now it's just down into this.
And then we saw our families, and it was like, yes, like this is it. Like we got this, girl,
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah, I remember that one. I think Dave's trying to be kind of nice in a way because I believe that there were times where I was like, here's the pin drop. You need this location, mile 20.
Well, you never,
And you would be like, well, on this side of the road or that side, it's the mile 20. It's right there. I dropped a pin. You're supposed to be there. I was
Well,
very,
you never know what you're going to
the
get.
drinks had to be there. I don't know if we always had to be there.
well, that's true.
That's true, Jim. But you never know what you're going to get at mile 20 because it could be joy and gratitude or sourpuss faces and like, all right, we got 6 more of these things to get behind us. And that's such a tough part of the race is that 18 to 22 mile mark. And so it was absolutely Russian roulette, not knowing what we were going to get when you guys would show up thirsty. That's the only thing I knew is you would be thirsty. That's about it.
You're always nice at mile 20.
Oh yeah.
That's some bullshit.
I'll honestly say that with a serious straight face. Come on. Yeah, no, that is absolutely not true.
I love it.
Okay, Jim Lee, what is the best part about being married to a marathoner? Best part and the hardest part. And you can be honest here. We're mature women.
Yeah, we got thick skin.
I try to be honest all the time.
I know. We're
I think
still
the best
married.
part is just being able to see somebody follow their passion and find success. I mean, I admire that in most anybody, but I get this front row seat, and I think that's pretty cool. The hardest part is trying to plan vacations when I want to take a break that's not run related.
Vacations.
That's the hard part because sometimes there's some really cool places that don't have races.
What?
What?
I thought runcations were the way we were vacationing these days.
Like what?
Well, yeah.
Oh wait, Lori sent me one because we now chronically just send each other like really cool places to either hike or run. And you sent me one the other day that I think the folks that you used to run with in Ocala were running, and it's in
yes.
Ireland. And they have like 6 different runs that they do, like one run every day over 6 days, and they see like all these different places in Ireland. And
It's like a run / hike. I think there was some hiking there too.
yeah,
It was Bill and Ruth, Dave. Do you remember Bill and Ruth?
Yeah, of course.
They're still out there doing it in their mid 70s.
yeah, in the 70s, you said?
I don't know. And yeah, this
I was
really
like, that takes runcation to a whole other level. So
If you could find a race in Patagonia, I can get behind this. Like you can convert me.
well, we gotta get South America at some point. I also know of a little hike I want to do down there too.
there's a little hike down there. Yeah. All right. So Dave, this is a loaded question. Have you ever had to talk Lori out of running a race, or maybe tried and failed? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I feel like that's a regular surprise. Berlin, or I'm signed up for this lottery or that lottery.
Oh, hey, wait a
Lori
minute.
is
By the
always-
way, Jim, we signed up for the Berlin lottery for the end of September of next year. I never told him that.
For next year. I feel like I find out about races like once every other week. So okay.
Right, sorry, Dave.
Stride.
Yeah. Well, Lori, while we're on vacation, is planning a vacation, and Lori, while she's at a race, is planning a race. So, I don't know that I've ever tried to talk out of Lori. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've been a little overwhelmed. I don't remember what year it was. I guess it was Ella's sophomore year of high school. The 16 races in one year. That was I cried uncle towards the end of that marathon season. And I'm sure your two bodies were following suit with that too. But that year was tough. But I can't think of trying to talk you out of a race. I've maybe rolled my eyes. Yeah, have I?
Yeah, I think anyone that I was repeating a state.
Oh, yeah. I do question when like Maryland is being run for the 18th time. That's a head scratcher, but
Third time.
It's my second, so I don't have to run it again after that.
Wait, what's
I don't
Maryland?
even know what that means.
We're running Ocean City, Maryland in 2 or 3 weeks. It's just like surprise. You can go fishing.
I recently just texted Dave out of the blue. I texted Jekyll Island or Baton Rouge. Pick one. And he was like, why? And I'm like, no, just
Jekyll
pick
Island or Baton Rouge?
Jekyll Island.
Jekyll Island.
That's what I was thinking too. Because it's
I can
Dave's,
go fishing.
it's Dave's birthday weekend. I think you guys should go fishing on Jekyll Island for Dave's birthday.
I think you should do that.
I think that's what you should do.
There you go. That see?
Just happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, there may or may not be
A marathon that
on
weekend.
Jekyll Island that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question. Jim Lee, what's your proudest spectator moment? A time you were genuinely blown away by what she accomplished.
Oh, I think proudest moment, it was probably the 50th when you guys finished up. I mean, not only were we in one of my favorite places in the world, but you guys had gotten through way more than 50 runs, way more than 50 marathons, but it was your 50th state. And I thought that was really cool. And, you know, I don't want to be at every single marathon, but that was the one I really wanted to be at for you guys, because I just thought it was really cool that you accomplished that goal that you had set like years before, and you followed through and you did it. I thought that was really cool.
What about you, Dave?
Hawaii would definitely be hard to top, but there have been many of them where the conditions were grueling, or you guys did 2 or 3 in a 1 month span that I was just in awe of. And there have been a lot of them where I was proud to watch you guys cross the finish line. So,
for
you, Laura, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The Rhode Island one where your back was bad, or you hurt yourself the night before, and finishing that one. I mean, there were several where I'm like, wow, that's you guys had IT band issues, and
she finishes one with a broken foot. We find out that later, but we knew that the foot was bugging her.
Yeah.
You guys sat in the lake?
Champlain.
We sat in the lake, for a really, really long time. But
was that Vermont?
Yeah, that was Vermont. But I tell you what, like every single race where I have had like just either something fail in my body, or just even like in Medoc, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I hit the wall at mile 8, and I told Lorri, and I think I've only told you this one other time, and that was in Deadwood, where it's like, just go without me.
Yeah.
And it's almost like throwing up in my mouth saying it out loud. It's just like, just leave me. Like just leave me. Leave me to the side of the road, damn it. And you're like, no. And I tell you what, like, and that is what gets me about this, is that, running, and especially marathon running, could totally be an individual sport, right? It could be an individual sport for the two of us, and we just go out, and travel together, and we run our own races. But Lorri, you have your positive energy, your unwillingness to go and like give in, and just, we're finishing this together, and just you being just so indignant to me about it. It's just like, I probably wouldn't have gotten through some of the races that I had without having you by my side. And that is the cool thing. So that 50 state, that you guys are saying, like, had great accomplishment. We both can say it was both of our individual accomplishments, but for me, like, I don't feel like I could have gotten across that finish line without, you by my side. So
I would say ditto on my side too.
Yeah.
I feel like I would not have been as driven to do as many as I did, or as focused in on it, without having such a willing travel partner to be there motivating me along and egging me along. Like I get the
I think
crazy
it's
idea and Laura pushes me over the edge like, yeah, let's do that.
I think it's bigger than just your marathon days. It's your long training runs, your 4:30 in the morning, getting up to go on a run. There's a lot to it that you two pulled each other through.
Yeah.
The marathons were the prize, but the destination was, or the journey was half the battle or three-quarters of the battle, really.
Yeah, I was really happy when your kids all like stopped doing spring sports because there was one season where Lori was like, "Well, I gotta get to swimming and I gotta get to the dance thing," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking of 3:30 start." And I'm like, "Son of a bitch!" Oh, okay. If it means not running by myself, let's do it.
Those
Yikes.
days were painful. But
Oh my gosh.
speaking of training days and just like our marathon lifestyle, gentlemen, what would you say is probably the most annoying thing that Laura or I, this is going to be directed at both of you, do like either just on a regular week or anything that surrounds our marathon training and running in general?
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, you set dozens of alarms. You'll start your alarm ritual an hour before you decide to get out of bed. So on those 3:30 runs, Laura, she starts her little ritual at 2:30, and I'm a very light sleeper, so I think it's the morning ritual would probably be my number one answer.
And Dave, I've been on the receiving end of those alarms as well.
But not every day.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have that problem. I sleep just fine.
Mm,
And
I do.
I don't hardly ever hear your alarm.
Yeah, because so I think I've mentioned it in previous episodes, but I wake up to AC/DC's Back in Black every morning. That's my alarm, and my little thing is I need to turn my alarm off before the da 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 starts. So I always do the tick.
Well, yeah, if you
tick.
forget to do that and you walk out, that as well.
Yes,
Because
yes.
it's playing for a while.
Yeah.
You might be in the bathroom or something.
What's my annoying thing?
I actually have nothing coming to mind for that.
Mm.
Nothing about you annoys me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We're recording this.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. So Dave, you know,
Okay.
so we know that while you mentioned earlier that you try to when you're at a race, you try to see us multiple times, right? During the race. What do you do when you're waiting? So are you a person that, you're talking to other people, you're grabbing coffee, maybe doing other things? Like how do you spend your time? What's been maybe some of the more interesting ways you've spent your time while waiting for us during a marathon?
Well, ones that I do with Jim, I'm sure it gets annoying, but as a former runner, I just clap and cheer for hours, like every guy and gal that runs by. So that's one thing I definitely do. Yeah, I mean, I remember Jim, the one where we brought the TV and we were watching Army and the Gators, and that was one of the COVID runs.
It's Jackson Hole.
I think it was
Mhm.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Yeah. Um,
Do a little Jameson just to stay warm.
yeah. There have been many races. I guess it's okay to say that we didn't watch you guys at all. We went fishing or uh, did kind of our thing. But yeah, I think it just depends on the conditions, the environment. We miss some of the flyover states. Sorry, anyone that listens in the middle of the country, but it depends on what there is in between. And I would say though, generally, Jim, we've been just good spectators. Like we generally we either do something or we watch the race, and and find our spots and our little strategic positions. But
it's a lot of fun when we can do something and then go watch the race and then go do something. Like we taught Kaylee how to play 3-card poker down in.
Oh, that's right. You guys hit
That's
the
true.
casino in New
Middle.
Orleans in the middle of the race.
That's true.
Might have won a little money and get spectators.
That happened. Yeah.
That's golden.
I'll tell you, Laura, I know Medoc was just grueling. For those that didn't hear that episode, it had to have been in the 90 something degrees range, and you're drinking wine. But from a spectator standpoint, that was the coolest race of all times. I mean, these people were freaks. Everyone was in costume, hammered. It was an enormous party that happened to have a race going on. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And even with a bomb scare like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, that was
We still
crazy.
had a good time.
That was crazy. Talk about that just really quick, because I mean that's a serious thing too. Like, when you're at races, there are some races where they have a tremendous amount of security, and that's really like post the bombing that happened at the Boston Marathon, a number of years ago. But talk about what happened in Medoc, because we had no clue. We were on the course and had no clue what was going on.
But we were trying to go to where the finish line was. We were grabbing a bite, but we were trying to get as close as possible to the finish line. And there were a bunch of police that were geared up a lot, actually, that were blocking everybody, sending them to the other side of the town. And we ended up finding a spot before we got to that, but I was curious, so I wandered off and went and chatted with the police.
Huh. Go figure.
Jim wandering off
once in a while, but they told me that there was a bag that was left somewhere that was unattended, and they weren't sure what it was all about. So they were doing their jobs. Then we heard an explosion a little while later because they were destroying it. I was like, okay. What they taught us in the Army, they still do that.
Yeah.
They take care of stuff that's suspicious.
Yeah,
So.
that was, but I mean, it's scary, but also, made me feel safe that, they took that very seriously. It's not, it's not just talk. So, they make bags disappear. So, so Dave, earlier you talked about, Hawaii being like one of your favorite places. Outside of Hawaii, what's been your second most favorite destination that's been tied to one of the marathons, and why?
And Jim should answer that too.
Yeah.
They've gone on different trips with us.
I have so many. I mean, there were a lot, but most of them were, it was remote in the wilderness. There was fishing, or Big Sur was fun. It's sad. 2 of the ones that I enjoyed the most, Jim wasn't at. Big Sur and Montana. Those were both very, very memorable. But Idaho was a blast. I loved
Idaho.
What's that?
Idaho.
Who?
Oh, Idaho.
Idaho.
Jackson Hole was great. I mean, so many of them were great. I was remembering one of the times you ran New York, Lori. I don't know if it was. I think you've run it twice now.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Well, one of them, I don't remember which one, but it was really cold, and I had to get to LaGuardia to fly to South Beach.
That was the first one.
The first one.
Without Laura.
Without Laura. Okay. So she ran this race. I ran and watched her, and then I had to get in a cab, and the city was backed up because of the marathon. Get to LaGuardia, fly to South Beach, and I land in South Beach, and it's 85 degrees, and it's like tropical weather. And I was bundled up. That whole day was like a fever dream and unusual. But I would say, hands down, I have a favorite. More than Hawaii. Like way more than Hawaii.
I know which one.
Yeah, Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alaska was hands down, unequivocally the best marathon as a spectator. That was
That you did not spectate.
No, we didn't spectate.
I was going to say the halibut you caught though was amazing.
I caught a 48-pound halibut that day, which was pretty awesome. But
Damn good spectators, man.
And we traumatized Ella at the same time.
yeah,
Oh
poor
yeah, you
Ella
guys like had she caught the rockfish and they killed it on the boat.
beautiful.
Oh.
with a mallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that whole adventure, that was for any of the listeners, go to Alaska, whether you're a marathoner or not, get up there to Alaska.
I totally agree. And I can't wait to talk about that episode because Lorri did an absolutely phenomenal job because we spent 2 weeks in Alaska.
Yeah.
And so we started with the marathon and then we continued and had like a family vacation, after that. And I would go back to Alaska in a heartbeat,
Absolutely.
I would go there over and over and over. I mean, it's such a big state and there's so many places to see. But I can't wait to talk about that one. We'll have to post the itinerary, Lorri, that you had put together because, it definitely gave us a good flavor for a couple of different parts of the state that had a very, very different geography to it as well.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing was the only bad weather day of that entire trip was the marathon day for you guys. I think it was.
Oh, that was it was
the rest of the trip was stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great trip. I'd say any of the trips where you guys ran but we had some of the kids with us and we got to do things together afterwards. Even like we were talking about Burlington before, the fact that Tristan drove down from Montreal, I love the fact that he popped in and just say hi and meet you guys and stuff. And I remember that very vividly, and I don't get to see him enough, so that was a treat. But Jackson Hole, spending time with Matt and Tina and you guys, that was it. It just made for some cool memories alongside the runs,
Yeah.
New Orleans, I felt very accomplished in New Orleans.
It's all your fault, Jim Lee.
Oh, that was pure entertainment, top to bottom.
Putster.
A lot of the issues were Jim's fault. Like almost any time there was an issue.
Come on now.
Yeah.
No. So is there any of the races that Laura and I ran that either of you wish that you would have gone on and missed? Like any of the destinations?
I've got one. And I'm going to redeem myself with all the flyover states. Your Nebraska trip, you guys were so glowing about the Sandhill region of Nebraska. And I was on a business trip in Vegas and I snuck away to a card table and a guy was from that area and he was a cattle farmer and we were talking about it, and he's like, oh, it's the most beautiful place on the earth. And I don't know if that's true, but it really reinforced that that's a special part of the country that I didn't get to see.
Yeah, Valentine, Nebraska, that we'll talk about. What about you, Jim?
I wish I could have gone to Montana with you guys. Big Sur, I've been out in that area before, and there's nothing, I don't know that I'd see anything different that I hadn't seen before. But Montana, what you got to see out there and experience, to include the fishing, Dave, I think I could have saved you from twisting your ankle. I really do believe that I could have helped with that.
You probably would have had him fishing again as opposed to hiking with me.
But yeah, that's probably the top of the list that I wish I had done too.
I love that. So Dave, if you could pick the next race destination purely for you, where would it be?
For me to run or for me to spectate?
It just says the next race destination. Could be your race because you're a marathoner, or it could be our race.
Or it could be all of our races.
Could be all of our races.
Yeah. Well, poor Nebraska. I'm not going to say the Sandhill region of Nebraska. That's a good question. I feel like whatever I say is going to be held against me.
We won't hold you accountable.
No. She's going to go on her computer right when this podcast is over, and
we should have worked out a safe word.
So I'm going to defer my vote to Jim. Jim, where would you like to go for your next marathon?
I don't think that's fair. You need to answer the question, and I promise I won't Google it right after we get off of this podcast.
Maybe tomorrow.
So
Maybe.
I really haven't seen the Grand Canyon fully. I've never been to New Mexico, Oregon, or Oklahoma. Those are the 3 states I haven't been to. So I'm going to say maybe the Grand Canyon area if there's a race there. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't done like the hike going in. Like, was that the rim to rim?
Don't worry, I still every month put in the lottery for Phantom Ranch and have been for the last year, and I'm still getting rejected every single month. Every month.
My goodness. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
How about you, Jim?
Oh, I would say if you're gonna make me travel, then we're traveling. Let's go to Australia.
Sydney?
Actually, do they do something in New Zealand?
There's races in New Zealand, but there is also the World Majors in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
And you can always like tie New Zealand into a trip that while you're already out there.
Well, you have to.
You have to.
Well, if we're going there too, I know that one of the World Majors is Tokyo, right?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
that idea.
Well, we'll see. So Berlin, we went in and registered for the lottery, and we find out in December, Lori, about whether we get in. And the race is actually at the end of September of 2026. So it is kind of right in the heart of Oktoberfest.
Yes.
So Laura, what are you going to do if you get in and your friend doesn't get in?
Oh no, we got to register a special way. Berlin has a very special registration.
Yes. So it enables you to register as a team. So we are a team of 2, and our whole team gets in, or our whole team does not get in.
That's good. That's clever.
Yes.
Well, if one of us gets in, we both get in.
Right.
Is the way that works too.
Does it help your chances, or does it make it harder?
Well, they said that it is a 20% chance of getting into Berlin, which is astronomically higher than the other world major races. I think that New York City was like something,
2%.
It was like less than 2% chance of getting into New York City when you registered it through the lottery. So so all these races are all competitive. So 7 world majors, and we've done 3 out of the 7. So
they're gonna before we're done, they're also gonna just to warn you guys ahead of time. I'm saying it now out loud. They're gonna add Cape Town, and I think they're also talking about, is it Shanghai or Beijing? They're like,
it was one of the 2 Chinese cities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those 2 are also, they're going to be added before we're done. I just know it. It's happening.
And if we do Tokyo with them, we have to take sumo wrestling classes. I wanted to learn. Dang.
Is that why you've been wearing diapers?
You wear the diaper.
Yeah,
I know. It's like,
gotta do it right.
He does have a really nice ass, though. He looked cute in that.
Nothing's happening.
All right. So, Dave, when did you most shake your head and think they've officially lost it?
I mean, the year you guys did 16, I don't know if that was the year that you did Iowa and whatever other state a couple days apart.
Yeah, Kansas City, and Des Moines, Iowa. We did a double. It was like on a Saturday and a Sunday of the same weekend.
Yeah, that was for sure one of them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the what you guys have accomplished is pretty remarkable, and it was more probably awe that you guys have been able to do that physically and mentally and time wise, and that was probably more of the shaking the head as opposed to they've totally lost it. But I mean, running those back-to-backs, the Big Sur and Boston, Des Moines, and Kansas City, that's crazy. that's up there for sure.
Yeah, and I remember when we signed up or we got into the Boston to Big Sur, and that was a 13 days apart, those two races. And at the time in our journey, I was like, oh my God, like we've hit the big time, man. We're doing two races in less than 2 weeks. And then I remember at some point in time, and this is when I was on the train traveling into Philadelphia for work. So I had a lot of time, like, as I was like, oh, let me look at races. And I remember finding the I-35 challenge, and we still had those two states. And I was like, Lorri, like, we have to do this. And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
Funny, like even now, like next weekend we have Atlantic City, and then the weekend after that we have Marine Corps, and then the weekend after that we have Ocean City, Maryland. So it's not like it stopped.
yeah, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. But, he's looking at me like, he's like, I'm going to be fishing in Maryland.
You talk to your daughter about some of that, okay?
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say, generally.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do either of you two have, like, what's the funniest behind the scenes story that maybe we've not talked about yet, or just something funny that's happened and related to our marathon quest?
For our travels as we've been marathoning
Yes.
with you guys.
We guys definitely have your morning rituals, the two of you, and the bathrooms and the body glides and the weird outfits if it's chilly out at the starting line. And but yeah, behind the scenes, I think there have been times when Jim and I are like, all right, we're gonna tap out and go have a drink or whatever, and you guys are out there doing your thing, and we're like, all right, we're gonna have some fun too.
Which we love, by the way.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have survived this day without you. I miss you.
No, I love it.
It's been fun. I have a question for both of you. What spectator moment were some of your highlights of us being your beer bitches and cheering you on?
I absolutely loved this by far. I'm gonna try not to get welled up. This by far was like one of my favorite moments ever. It was when Lorri and I were coming in, finishing Hawaii, and it was our 50th state. And Dave, you came running up on the side, and Lorri, you hugged Dave, and we hadn't crossed the finish line yet. I mean, we were because we were running in faster at that point in time. And Lorri, you gave Dave this hug, and you just started sobbing. Just absolutely sobbing. And Dave, you held onto her like it was just this moment. And then you turned to me and you're like, wait, come here. Like, and it was like family hug. And then you said to the two of us, take it in slow. Just take it all in, girls. Just take it all in. And I don't, that moment of just hearing Lorri, you just like we've had our moments, right? And we're not shy about, showing emotion to each other, but to hear your best friend sobbing like a baby, like just sobbing. And it was just this release of years of carrying this weight of this goal, on your shoulders. And, people don't realize how much pressure that is, because it's not just pressure on yourself, right? That you've established that goal, but it's that I need to stay healthy and in this for the person that's next to me as well. Right. So it's like double that. So to me, that was probably my most memorable moment, like ever.
Yeah, I can't top that. I would say that that's about the same as well.
Yeah. And because it was just raw emotion, just absolute raw, sheer emotion. So
and it's aside from that too, like just everybody being there at the end of the Hawaii race with like the 50 glasses, and we had pre-made shirts and the celebration, and
guys were the bomb.
you guys just really just bought into all the hoopla of us finishing and all that. And it meant so much just to have everybody there together to celebrate that.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I miss DJ being there though. I wish he could have been there, but
Yeah.
he had obligations at the University of Delaware. So
No, I agree. I agree. So guys, and this is a question for both of you. What have you learned about yourself through going through this journey? Have there been any, kind of ahas for you all in terms of your own growth? I mean, kind of grew a friendship out of it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I really don't struggle with FOMO at all, but when it comes to the running, there have been moments where I'm like, oh man, that would have been a fun one to run. Or so for me, it was kind of reconnecting after I had my bike accident.
Mm.
So I was living vicariously through the two of you, but then I started getting more into fitness as well. Because I'm like, all right, these guys are out there doing this week in and week out. So I think I've been healthier the last few years from a fitness standpoint, largely because you guys are out there doing your thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to not keep pace from fear of missing out, but just not to be lethargic and have you guys up here on the fitness scale and on the anchor.
I don't have these kind of hangups, Dave.
I know. Well, you're the volleyball guy. You're like Tom Cruise and Goose.
I will say that one of the things that comes to mind is, and I didn't realize this until probably more recently, but Maddie graduated high school. She was in college kind of around the time that you guys started running this in earnest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it occurred to me that the gap between being a fan for her and being a fan for you guys, I was missing something there. Like I really do genuinely feel like a fan of you guys, and I didn't realize how much I missed doing that with Maddie, and now I got to do this with somebody else in the family. And even recently, I got to visit with my family out in the Midwest and got to see the nephews playing football. I've never been able to do that, and it's made me realize how much I really value that in my life. Being fans of the family, doing sports and doing things that they have a passion towards and find success for themselves.
Yeah, no, I love that. I absolutely love that. And being a fan of you fishing, so this past weekend we were in the Poconos celebrating my sister's 50th birthday, and it was like the whole family. And so at some point in time, Maddie and I were doing our long run, and we stopped at some point, and Maddie was like, "Wow, look at Dad." So because we were doing like this loop around like this like little lake, and you were standing over on the bank and you were fishing, and she's like, "He just looks at like look he just looks like he's at peace, like in fishing, you know." And you did. I mean, you were like casting, you were just so chilled out. And I don't know, it was a really cool moment because before, Dave, you and Jim connected, I mean, we went fishing maybe a couple times when we lived in Lake of the Ozarks, and we really didn't have a good experience with
Oh
it.
no, I swore off fishing.
He was like, "I'm never fishing ever again." And
1994.
and Dave, you were like, "Come on, man, we're gonna try this together." And now he's like, there's a body of water, and he's like, "I'm bringing my pole. I'm bringing my pole." And I love
can't
it.
carry my boat.
I know. Well, I know.
Yeah.
I know. You can't carry the boat, but I love that because it introduced something that now he has a passion about. You guys both have a passion. You go and you fish together, but it's also a relaxation point for you, and and hunter gatherer type of activity. So I don't know, and you get to eat them sometimes, the fish, so which is kind of fun, or the crabs. So yeah, but I do like that. All right, so last question, and so this is, if you could give advice to another spouse about living with a marathoner, what would it be?
Hmm.
Run, run.
Get it? See what he did there?
That's good, babe.
Um, yeah, I just have at it. Go support them, enjoy it, lean in, have fun, set goals. Yeah, I think it's there's not many healthier hobbies or habits to have unless you're drinking booze at mile 20. But other than that small little fact, it's no, I think if you've got a loved one that a significant other that wants to pick up this hobby and set big audacious goals, go for it and support them.
I love that. I love that. And I would highly recommend that, if you have a partner that is marathon running, join them along the journey, go and check out, some of the just absolutely incredible places that this country has to offer. I mean, Dave, you talked about the sandhills in Nebraska. I had no idea that there were sandhills in Nebraska, and lots and lots and lots of them. And it was such a unique experience, and we got to see so many different things. And there's still so many different places to see in the country. So definitely recommend packing a
Well,
bag.
and on top of all of that, even if you're not a marathon runner as a spouse, but if you were willing to do 5K or a 10K,
Yeah.
usually these races have variety of races associated with the marathon, a half, and we've talked about that with some of our destinations in our previous episodes. So, I mean, even if you thought about running, there is something possibly even for you for that. Although Jim, I don't think would ever run.
I was kidnapped once and put on a 5K course.
He was. It was
And
the
handed a T-shirt and said, "You must run."
But it was in
Jingle
Hawaii.
bell.
It was in Hawaii, and I promised him crepes.
I was
I
mad.
promised him crepes afterward, and he got crepes afterward. So, and maybe a mimosa.
But
I bet you he could get crepes and mimosa without running a 5K.
Yes, this is true.
Really?
He did find that out.
So, Dave, like you've run marathons too now. Are there any in particular that you think that you would want to run in the future, or you think you're done with your marathon career at this point? Where are you at with your marathon running?
Yeah. I really enjoyed last year. I enjoyed training for it. I did not think I would.
Which
And
one was it?
Marine Corps. Um, so that surprised me because I did it out of obligation for Ella. She was going to run her first marathon, and I thought I would just be her, support and cheer her on and walk with her for, get through a marathon. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I can actually run this thing, like, go for it. And I didn't have a lot of runway because I had to train differently when she decided not to run it for a few weeks, and it was right before her taper time. So there's a little bit nagging in me that said that I'm like, all right, maybe I'll do another marathon. And it's not necessarily for time, but just to, get the fitness in. And I've always wanted to break 4 hours. I actually know I could if I trained properly. So there's a little bit of me nagging to do that. I feel I'm more inclined to, do a half marathon just from a time commitment standpoint. I feel like I could get healthy and run a little bit faster at a shorter distance, but I don't know. I would say I would put it 50-50. I'll do another marathon.
That's a fair question. I mean, fair answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dave is speedy.
I no, I could be, but I'm not. That marathon, I was on a good pace, and then it was walk season around mile 22. So
That's okay. That's okay. These things
yeah.
happen.
Better a man than I am. I'll jump out of a perfectly good airplane a couple times before I run that marathon.
To each their own.
Yeah, I think it's cool that you guys do that. It's not me.
Well, I greatly appreciate you guys taking the time, because I know, like, just us, between the four of us trying to squeeze in, just having this conversation, not an easy task by any stretch, but we greatly appreciate you guys giving your candid, responses, and just giving some perspective on what it's like to support the cray cray, but also, kind of be a part of it as well. And I absolutely love that. And I love you both. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we love you guys. We're proud of you.
You guys are the best spouses ever.
Ever.
That's true.
Ever.
Like Laura and I could not have accomplished the 50 states without you two.
That's right.
Like,
right.
This wasn't just her and I. We physically did it, but without you two supporting it, it doesn't happen.
Totally agree.
It just doesn't.
Totally agree.
Much love.
Well, nice job, ladies, and we're glad that you're chronicling all this with the Mile 20 podcasts, and you guys are continuing on greatness. So good job.
So next week, this coming weekend, we are running the Atlantic City Marathon.
Yay!
Me, you, and Maddie. So our next episode, 38, will be a recap of both our 2023 Atlantic City Marathon experience and this past weekend. Or next weekend. Oh, good grief.
We're running that shit soon, bitches.
I don't know what weekend it is anymore. We've got 3 weeks coming up of straight marathoning back to back.
Yeah, baby, we're back in it. Yeah.
Mile 20's back in action. Anyhow, so we will be discussing all things Atlantic City Marathon. So please tune in to us there. Check us out on all of our socials. We love hearing from you. We love seeing the growth and feeling the love. So please continue. Subscribe, follow. We love all of it. Now go make Mile 20 your bitch. Peace out.
Peace out.